McIntyre, 118 Oak Street in DeKalb. I apologize for my mix-up on the paperwork. I have to print things in 18-point type. Tonight you're being asked to put in motion a plan that speeds up the downtown TIF construction projects that I spoke to this group in full support of, and I still fully support the grand vision for downtown renovation as opposed to the 23 years where we played little games and put a siphon hose that ran through the middle of Lincoln Highway out to Northland Plaza and used downtown money to finance that, even if it's for the good of the whole. I didn't agree with that type of thing. I think that the downtown is where the TIF district is, and that's where the money should be spent. So I don't oppose the plan. But I've heard several, and there's some very distinguished speakers tonight here. To hear Bob Bowie speak on this, that's very impressive for me, because I remember when Bob stepped in when Anaconda Wire and Cable was about to become, well, basically what we've got out on 7th Street, and he's turned that around. And then John Castle, even though he and I opposed each other on an issue, I was awed to be in the same room. So, you know, I feel a little bit embarrassed to be speaking. But we're talking about multiple generation investment on one hand and saying speed up the construction projects on Locust Street on the other. And we've got businesses, some of them are my customers, or maybe they were my customers, downtown DeKalb, that have told me they don't know if they're going to survive because of the construction, and we're going to move this up and schedule the Locust Street so that they have an extended period of construction to deal with, and that they will not be allowed their Christmas season to recuperate because the construction will still be going on. And we will have a loss of sales tax revenue. It's just possible that we should hear the signals. One of the reasons that was given at the Rise and Revitalize meeting for speeding up the process was this language. We've got to spend the money now, or the atmosphere could change. Think about that. Maybe the atmosphere did change. It's called the economy. Maybe the atmosphere did change. Maybe when we have the assistant city manager of finance tell us that we could have a $3 million revenue shortfall in a budget that we have fought to try to get balanced, and we may have a $3 million revenue shortfall this year, maybe that is a signal that indeed the atmosphere has changed. And when we had a press conference about this subject, I asked the city manager, is there some reason other than aesthetics that we should bury the cable? And he said, well, I could tell you about some other advantages, but aesthetics is the reason we're doing it. That was repeated here at the last city council meeting when this item was discussed. We're going to borrow money for aesthetics. When we have a police station or we have a police department crowded, I've been on a tour. We need to address the police station. We have staffing problems. We're at a hiring freeze. We're doing an attrition, and we have public safety departments that are not fully staffed. And we're going to borrow money for aesthetics. I was participated in a survey that the state of Illinois did on how TIF should be reported on tax bills, because it is such a complicated thing and nobody understands it. And it was quite a survey. And I don't know if you remember, but there was nothing ironclad really worked out on that survey because there wasn't enough space on a piece of paper to fit all the things. But the one thing that I did learn from that is that TIF is a local tax. It appears on the local tax bill. It is not state money. And let's entertain for a moment that it is state money. Is that not our tax dollars, and is not this state about bankrupt? So just because it's state money does not mean that it's free money. I suggest that we take the advice of the people who talk about the TIF plan. It is a long-term, half-a-generation plan. Why are we moving things up? Why are we jeopardizing existing businesses with their very survival? Because the atmosphere might change, and the public who elected you to represent them might change their mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Mr. Gallagher.